So the discovery process typically starts with a kickoff meeting where we get together with the brand, with the client. We typically have two parts to the kickoff session with them. The first part comprises of them talking of what their current solutions are, how they are currently solutionizing. It could be an offline solution, it could be a digital solution, but we let them talk about what they are doing currently to sort of close the gap on the requirements. The second session, the second part of the kickoff session is where we propose like a very high level tentative kind of a solution to what we have understood from their requirements, what we feel that they require. So that's the kickoff session, which is basically our first touch point with the client. Once that kickoff session is done, we have our inputs, we have looked at the solutions that they're currently using. We go back with these inputs and we create a fairly detailed solution, a proposed solution, and then we assemble again. Typically this process takes about a week to 2 weeks, and then we get back to them with a more detailed proposed solution. This normally is in either again like a deck or something, or sometimes we even have like a draft based on how complex the features are. We could go back with a draft of what we call a discovery workbook, which is basically our handbook for the entire discovery process. So we document our proposed solution in that workbook. We go back, assemble again with the brand stakeholders for the second session. And here is where we tell them about how we are going to, what are the features that we can incorporate in the proposed solution, and we walk them through all of that. We take their inputs on each of the features that we talk about in that solution, and then we come back again, reassemble, and then we put together what we call a discovery workbook. So that's typically how we kick off any discovery process with any client of ours. And typically we mostly talk to the brand stakeholders, the high level stakeholders, but sometimes the kickoff also involves talking to the end users of the product itself, because that helps us understand the pain points of the customer, the client who's going to use the product itself. So this is like how we kick off the discovery process with any client. Okay, so once we have gotten sort of a brand immersion where we've understood how the brand works, we typically go back to them for sort of couple of Q&A sessions, right? We have their we have their requirements at a high level. We break those down to a micro level, coming up with questions on how each feature should be solutionized, and we take those questions back, bring back the answers again, and then incorporate those into our solution again. So sometimes if required, we also engage them in a workshop where we take them through a user journey path, right? That also gives us some answers that helps us also understand how how the solution is going to be used, right? So those sessions are what we normally do to get like more detailed understanding of what is the solution that they're looking for, and that enables us also to give them a solution that they would like better, rather than just trying to put them into a box that here's the solution and this is what you're going to use. It's more built and customized totally to their needs. So that's normally what we do to sort of understand what they want in the solution. We have something called a discovery workbook, which we use. That's like our Bible. That's our single source of truth. That's where we capture all the requirements that the user has, and we try, and over all our sessions with the client that we do, or over whether it's workshops, whether it's Q&A sessions, whether it's user journey workshops, all of that, all the requirements, all the features are broken down to a micro level and documented within the discovery workbook. So a discovery workbook could comprise of it just doesn't comprise of the features like in text. We supplement it with wireframes, with mockups wherever required. We supplement it with file insertions, like if there are some, for instance, there are cases when the client gives us PDFs, which helps us understand what maybe they are using, right? So we capture all of that. We make sure all those PDFs are available in the discovery workbook. The discovery workbook is not just also a document which captures requirements. We also extend it so that it gives us an idea of how the solution that we are going to create, what we are going to implement is going to roll out to the end user. So it becomes like a guidebook right from the discovery process to the development to the launch of the product itself. So all inputs that enable us to have this journey smoothly done is captured within. So it could also comprise of things like, how is the client going to do a user rollout? How are they going to roll out to all the users? Okay, this set of users will get the product at this and this time. So the whole user timeline, user rollout timeline is captured. How they're going to put content into the system is also captured. So their content rollout plan would also get captured. So the discovery workbook is like a huge workbook that we create capturing all of this. That's basically our major document. We don't really document anything because that also becomes the input to the product backlog. Because we follow an agile development process, right? So agile delivery process. So we need something that can enable us to create a cohesive and a complete product backlog, which can go into Jira. So this discovery workbook is what becomes that document. So that's where all our information gets captured.